Hi, welcome to another session of ISRAR'S channel with the Learning with ISRAR. Today our topic is Lean Procurement, which has two episodes. In first one, we are going to talk about the meaning of lean, definition of procurement, then lean procurement, lean work methodology, benefits of lean procurement, and fundamentals of the lean procurement. In the second part, we are going to discuss uh, the strategies, methods, and techniques to achieve the lean procurement. Okay, so let's start with the meaning of the word mean. It means skinny or having no fat or no waste. And what about procurement is defined as acquiring goods and services that enable an organization to operate its supply chain in a profitable and ethical manner. However, there are many different interpretations of what procurement is, and this definition can vary from sector to sector, subject to activities undertaken within the organization. Okay, now let's define the procurement in detail. These are the activities overseeing the steps of procurement cycles such as market analysis, sourcing, negotiation, contracting, and supplier relationship management for good works and services, covering both the acquisition from third party and in house providers. The process spans the whole procurement cycle from identification of needs through to the end of a service contract or end of the useful life of an assets. It involves options like appraisals and critical make or buy decisions as well. After defining the word lean and the definition of procurement, let's now define what is lean procurement. It can mean several different things, but the common thread connecting every definition is the core concept of doing more with less. So lean could mean one or more of the approaches as like saving money, time and efforts by speeding up the procurement process, or running a procurement function with a small centralized team or with only one person, or reducing paperwork such as lengthy RFP documentation to a lean canvas, otherwise known as the plan on a on one page, running a procurement function on a tight budget, or eliminating waste, for example, by reducing lengthy sourcing time and applying the principle of the lean work methodology to the procurement. In previous slides, when we were defining the lean procurement, we have mentioned lean work methodology. And it is a systematic approach to identifying and eliminating the waste in a process to deliver more value to our customer with few resources. And the lean methodology seeks to optimize workflow, minimize the inventory, reduce lead times, and engage and empower our employees at all levels. After discussing the lean procurement, let's see what it has the benefit for the organization. So few of the benefits I am going to mention here. It reduces the time to source. So lean sourcing methodology can compress month-long RFP process into less than a week by replacing complex RFP process with one day design style workshops. Then cut the wastage, like lean procurement forces practitioner to actively seek out and focus on the elimination of waste. In lean methodology, waste is defined as any activity that does not add any value to end customer. And then optimizing business cash flow, this is another benefit of lean procurement. So by reducing inaccuracy and inefficiencies and P2P process, we can optimize our cash flow. The next benefit we can talk about is the creating a strategic focus. So running a lean operation means that you will not be able to achieve everything, but lean procurement teams pick their goals and target with care when building their lean procurement strategies and focusing on the achievable and high impact activities such as tackling tail spends. So uh, another benefit is like jumpstart procurement on a shoestring. So budgets are often limited for small to medium sized businesses. So lean procurement can establish a new procurement function. It provides a way to get started while keeping cost low. After defining the lean procurement and its benefit, let's now talk about the basic steps to lean procurement. So these are some of the fundamental steps we have to take to implement or to achieve the lean procurement in an organization. It is like resetting of thinking. So lean mindset. So it is a philosophy of lean in an organization. Then mapping of procurement processes, and the last one is making the changes, appointing an owner, and monitoring and reviewing the our plan of lean procurement. So let's talk after this one by one. So let's start with the first fundamental principle of lean procurement. It is like lean thinking or lean philosophy we have to implement in an organization. In fact, a lean procurement requires long term commitment to combining elements of strategic sourcing with lean principles. So, before starting to explore ways to incorporate lean thinking or philosophy into our organization or into our sourcing strategy, is important to reset our thinking and philosophy. So, usually it is easy to rely on bloated or inefficient process because they are comfortable, but indeed, people do things all the time without knowing why, just because it is the way it is always be done. So it is very important that we have to make our organization think lean, or they have the philosophy of the lean. In previous slide we have talked about the lean thinking. So these are the some of the examples where we can apply the lean thinking in procurement process, like management of intake of new purchase request, requirement discovery, how we will be find out the requirements, that vendor research and selection, then request for proposal management, invoice management, contract management, vendor performance evaluation, and then spend analysis. So ideally, by breaking down all these processes, we can start to identify steps that don't serve our goals or don't deliver any value or enough value to justify time they take. The next fundamental step in achieving the lean procurement is the mapping of procurement processes. So mapping process is basically very important part to achieve the lean procurement, in which we have to start the mapping process with the right mindsets from beginning till end. And since the procurement cycle is full of process, we have to ask these are few questions at each steps, like number one is why we are doing it, what if it's not happen, or what we have to do another way, and who and how we will who will do it and how they will do it. So let's talk about in the next slides about these questions. So first of all, we have to ask why questions at every steps. For example, that why do we do this? What purpose does it serve? And is it crucial? So these are the questions we have to ask at every step when we are mapping the procurement process. The next sets of question is ask what if. So like, what if we remove this step, what will happen? Would there be a negative impact or a risk is too high? Then how does this step deliver value to the process and serve the organization's purpose? question could be that what if we shorten the steps or try to a new approach, and is this step valuable or would the process remain mostly unchanged if it was removed? So these are the few of the examples of the questions we have to ask what if. Okay, the next we have to do that we have to map every step of the process for every person involved. So how and who is the question, that how does a user submit a, like for example, how does a user submit a procurement request, who handles it, how it will be evaluated, who verifies the approval, does this step depend on the step before, or can it be done simultaneously, or is there any technology that could automate or make this step easier? So this is another stage of mapping the procurement lean procurement process, so that who and how they will do it. Okay, after making these all the questions and mapping, we have to make the changes, appointing the owner and monitoring and then reviewing. So once we have identified the way to save the time and eliminate waste, we have to implement the changes by doing following. Number one, update the internal procurement policy. Number two, inform stakeholders of the updated process as well as the logic behind it and who owns and manage the process. The third one, get the feedback from the stakeholder. Lean procurement is all about continuous improvement and optimization. So we have to keep continuously improvement and optimization, and then accordingly it is good idea to review process changes regularly to ensure they are working as intended. So these are the last thing we have to do it. So by this we have reached to our end of the first part of the lean procurement process and how we have to achieve it. In next episode, I will discuss the strategies, methods and techniques to achieve the lean procurement. So till then, goodbye and take care.